Tonight, you don't have to try to sleep. You don't have to force your eyes to close. You don't have to quiet your thoughts. Because an old man is here with you now. He is sitting in a worn wooden chair beside a softly glowing lamp. The light is warm, gentle, and steady, like it has nothing else to do tonight but stay on. The old man is not in a hurry. He hasn't been in a hurry for a very long time. His hands rest calmly on the arms of the chair. You can see the lines on his skin, the kind that only come from many quiet years. His breathing is slow, natural, unforced. He looks tired. Not the heavy kind of tired, but the peaceful kind that comes after a life well lived. Outside the window behind him, the night is calm. No wind, no noise, just darkness resting gently against the glass. The old man knows something you may have forgotten. Sleep does not come when you chase it. Sleep comes when you feel safe enough to stop trying. So tonight, the old man will stay awake for you. You don't need to listen closely. You don't need to remember anything he says. His voice is not here to teach you. It is here to keep you company. If your mind wanders, that's perfectly fine. If your thoughts drift in and out, that's exactly how it should be. The old man's voice will keep moving. Slowly, softly, whether you are listening or not. He has lived long enough to know that rest is not something you earn. It is something you allow. So let your shoulders drop a little. Let your jaw loosen. Let your breathing find its own rhythm. The old man is not going anywhere. He will sit here, in this chair, under this warm light, speaking calmly into the night, while you begin to rest. And when you're ready, without effort, without trying, sleep will start to find you. The old man remained in his chair, worn smooth by years of quiet sitting. Each groove in the wood told a story without words, a story of mornings arriving slowly, afternoons drifting quietly, nights folding gently like soft blankets. The lamp beside him glowed softly, patiently, without asking for attention. Its warmth touched the walls and softened shadows, reaching the old man's face in a calm embrace. His eyes, half closed, observed nothing in particular, yet understood everything. Nothing needed fixing. Nothing demanded change. Everything was exactly as it should be. Outside, the night stayed still. No wind rattled the windows. No distant car broke the calm. Even the trees seemed paused, their leaves holding quietly, without whispering. Breathing slowed further. One breath in, one breath out. Steady, soft, unbroken. The old man's hands rested in his lap, fingers relaxed, palms warm. Years settled comfortably into his bones. Life required patience. Rest required surrender. Time softened. Minutes were not counted. Hours were not tracked. Only a continuous gentle now held everything without strain. A distant sound might have tried to enter. A clock ticking, a faint hum from the house. Yet each sound was absorbed into the quiet, folded into the space, becoming part of the stillness instead of breaking it. The chair held him without effort. The room held the chair. The night held them all. Thoughts drifted slowly, like clouds across a calm sky. They came and went without urgency. He did not follow them. He did not chase them away. They simply passed by, and he remained, anchored to the slow rhythm of his breathing, the soft presence of the room, the patient night. Every small sensation became noticeable. Warmth in his palms, gentle rise and fall of his chest, the faint pressure of the chair beneath him. Safety, rest, nothing else mattered. He rested deeper, not by sinking, not by closing himself off, but by spreading awareness evenly through body and mind, letting every part of himself be fully present, fully calm. The quiet was enough. Enough to let sleep approach naturally, enough to pause the world, enough to exist in gentle, endless stillness. The room held its own rhythm, one that moved slower than any clock. The walls were still. The floor, smooth beneath the chair, made no sound. Even the air seemed to breathe gently, not forcing itself into motion, not asking for notice. The old man remained, his body aligned with the chair as if the two were one. His breathing was steady. One in, one out, a rhythm that belonged neither to him nor to the room, but to something older, something patient and endless. His hands rested lightly on his lap, fingers curved naturally, palms warm against his knees. They had held pens, cups, and books over the decades. They had done work, care, and creation, but now they did nothing, and in doing nothing they were exactly right. Outside, the night waited. Shadows of trees leaned softly against the windows. Nothing intruded, nothing demanded attention. Even the occasional distant sound was absorbed into the quiet, becoming part of the night's gentle fabric. The lamp beside him glowed steadily. Its light was not harsh. It did not push the darkness back. It simply existed, illuminating just enough to see, enough to feel comfort. The old man's eyes remained half closed. He did not need to look. He did not need to see. He simply allowed the light, the room, the night to exist as it did, without interruption, without judgment. Thoughts wandered in and out. They did not press him. They did not demand action. They simply drifted, unnoticed, and he remained anchored to the rhythm of his own slow breath. A faint creak from the house might have been heard once, but it did not startle. It was part of the room, part of the quiet. Even the smallest sensation, the faintest sound, became a gentle companion, not a distraction. Time softened further. Minutes and hours blended together, not measured, not marked. Only the constant, steady now existed, stretching comfortably, holding everything in place. The old man's chest rose and fell. His shoulders relaxed. His jaw unclenched. Even his thoughts loosened their grip, as if they too understood that nothing needed forcing. Every part of him was held by something larger. The chair supporting his body. The room holding the chair. The night embracing them both. And within that holding there was rest. Not forced, not commanded, not hurried. A rest that simply existed, waiting for the listener to join. The old man did not speak loudly. He did not need to. His voice, soft and low, reached the mind like a gentle tide. It carried calm, patience, and safety. And in that sound, the listener could find their own slow rhythm, the one that would guide them naturally towards sleep. The quiet room held him, and through him it held you. And that was enough. The evening shadows stretched gently across the room, forming soft shapes on the walls. They did not hurry. They did not shift suddenly. They simply rested there, as if time itself had slowed for this quiet space. The old man remained seated in his familiar chair. The smooth wood cradled him easily, shaped by years of use. He did not need to adjust or move. The chair had learned his weight and held him without effort. The lamp beside him glowed softly. Its light was warm and steady, touching the walls just enough to feel comforting. Nothing in the room demanded attention, yet everything felt present and calm. His hands rested loosely in his lap. Fingers curved naturally, warm and still. They had done many things over the years, but now they were quiet, and that quiet felt right. Beyond the window, the night waited. Branches leaned gently against the glass. Leaves stayed still. No wind disturbed them. No distant sound interrupted the calm. Even the smallest noise, if it appeared at all, melted into the silence instead of breaking it. Breathing slowed. In and out. Steady and unforced. With each breath, his shoulders softened, his chest relaxed, and his body settled deeper into ease. Thoughts drifted by without urgency. They did not ask for attention. They did not pull him forward or backward. They simply passed like clouds moving slowly across a quiet sky. Every sensation felt gentle. The warmth of his palms, the soft pressure of the chair beneath him, the steady glow of the lamp, all of it created a sense of safety, a feeling that nothing needed to change. Minutes blended together without counting. Time lost its edges. Only the calm, present moment remained. The old man's eyes rested half-closed. He was fully here, fully still. His presence filled the room with patience and quiet comfort, and in that calm the room seemed to respond. The walls held the stillness. The night wrapped itself gently around everything. Nothing needed motion, nothing needed effort. Rest was already happening, and in this quiet, unbroken calm, the listener could feel the same slow rhythm forming, guiding them gently, naturally, toward rest and sleep. The night outside was patient. It did not rush. It did not demand anything from anyone. It simply waited, folding itself gently around the house, the room, the old man seated in his chair. The lamp's glow touched the walls softly, illuminating subtle textures in a way that felt warm and welcoming. Nothing here startled or drew attention. Every shadow, every corner, every detail existed quietly without need for notice. The old man's hands rested lightly on his lap. Fingers curved naturally, warm against his knees. They had done so much over the years, written letters, held cups of tea, reached out in care. But now, in stillness, they did nothing, and that doing nothing was enough. His breathing found an even, slow rhythm. In, out. One breath following the other, each unremarkable yet perfectly balanced. The body understood this rhythm better than the mind ever could. Outside the windows, branches leaned softly against the glass, leaves motionless. Even the faintest rustle, if it existed, became part of the room's quiet pulse. No noise intruded. The night had folded itself around everything. Thoughts drifted past the old man without pressing or pulling. They moved like clouds across a pale sky, soft, gentle, patient. They did not demand attention. They did not hurry. They simply passed, and he remained anchored in the calm present. Time seemed irrelevant. Minutes, hours, perhaps even longer, blended together without edges, without distinction. Only the now existed, soft, wide, and unbroken. The old man's eyes remained half-closed. He did not seek. He did not avoid. He simply rested within the room's calm embrace. Every part of the room, the chair, the lamp, the floor, the walls, supported him effortlessly. The quiet was complete, yet it was not empty. It was full of patient, gentle presence, holding him without effort. Even the air seemed to move slower, carrying nothing but stillness. It did not press. It did not pull. It simply existed like the rest of the night, like the rest of the room. The old man did not speak aloud. His voice, when it came, was soft, steady, and slow. It carried the weight of calm, the ease of patience, and a gentle invitation to let go. And in that quiet, the listener could find their own rhythm, one that did not need forcing, one that flowed naturally, carrying them gently toward rest. The night continued, unhurried, wide, and enveloping. The old man's chair held him. The room held him. The night held the room, and the listener was held too. And that was enough. The room seemed larger in the quiet of the night. Shadows stretched gently along the walls, soft and patient. Nothing hurried here. Nothing needed immediate attention. Everything existed in calm balance, waiting quietly, peacefully. The old man sat in his chair. Its smooth wood curved perfectly to his frame. Years of use had shaped it to his body, and it held him effortlessly. No movement was needed. No shift was required. The chair knew him just as he knew it. His hands rested loosely on his lap. Fingers curved naturally, warm and still. They had touched so much over the years, books, cups of tea, pens, letters, but now they touched only the air, and that was enough. A soft lamp glowed beside him, its light spreading slowly across the room. It was gentle, steady, and calm. No brightness hurt the eyes. No shadows pressed against the walls, only comfort, quiet, and stillness. Breathing slowed further. In, out. One rhythm without force, one motion without urgency. The chest rose and fell. Shoulders relaxed. The body sank deeper into a gentle ease. Thoughts drifted past without demanding attention. They moved softly, like clouds floating across an endless sky. They neither pressed nor pulled. They did not require action. They simply passed unnoticed while the calm held firm. Time lost its usual meaning. Minutes, hours, perhaps longer, blended into a single wide moment. No need to measure, no need to mark. Only the present remained, soft, full, unbroken. Outside the window, branches leaned gently against the glass. Leaves stayed still, patient and unhurried. A distant sound, if it existed at all, melted seamlessly into the night. Nothing intruded. Nothing distracted. Everything belonged to the calm of the room. The old man's eyes rested half-closed. He neither sought nor avoided. He simply existed, anchored in quiet presence. The room, the chair, the lamp, even the air supported him effortlessly. Every subtle sensation was heightened. The warmth of his palms, the gentle pressure of the chair, the glow of the lamp across his vision, all combined to create a profound sense of security and ease. Even the night itself seemed to fold around the room, soft and enveloping. It did not press. It did not pull. It simply was, like everything else here. The old man did not speak aloud, yet his presence whispered patience, calm, and gentle observation. And the listener, hearing and feeling, could begin to find the same rhythm, a slow, unhurried pulse carrying them naturally toward rest. In this stillness, there was no need for motion, no need for urgency, only quiet, wide, patient, and complete. And that was enough. The room seemed larger in the quiet of the night. Shadows stretched gently along the walls, soft and patient. Nothing hurried here. Nothing needed immediate attention. Everything existed in calm balance, waiting quietly, peacefully. The old man sat in his chair. Its smooth wood curved perfectly to his frame. Years of use had shaped it to his body, and it held him effortlessly. No movement was needed. No shift was required. The chair knew him just as he knew it. His hands rested loosely on his lap. Fingers curved naturally, warm and still. They had touched so much over the years, books, cups of tea, pens, letters, but now they touched only the air, and that was enough. A soft lamp glowed beside him, its light spreading slowly across the room. It was gentle, steady, and calm. No brightness hurt the eyes. No shadows pressed against the walls. Only comfort, quiet, and stillness. Breathing slowed further. In, out. One rhythm without force, one motion without urgency. The chest rose and fell. Shoulders relaxed. The body sank deeper into a gentle ease. Thoughts drifted past without demanding attention. They moved softly, like clouds floating across an endless sky. They neither pressed nor pulled. They did not require action. They simply passed unnoticed while the calm held firm. Time lost its usual meaning. Minutes, hours, perhaps longer, blended into a single wide moment. No need to measure, no need to mark. Only the present remained, soft, full, unbroken. Outside the window, branches leaned gently against the glass. Leaves stayed still, patient and unhurried. A distant sound, if it existed at all, melted seamlessly into the night. Nothing intruded. Nothing distracted. Everything belonged to the calm of the room. The old man's eyes rested half-closed. He neither sought nor avoided. He simply existed, anchored in quiet presence. The room, the chair, the lamp, even the air supported him effortlessly. Every subtle sensation was heightened. The warmth of his palms, the gentle pressure of the chair, the glow of the lamp across his vision, all combined to create a profound sense of security and ease. Even the night itself seemed to fold around the room, soft and enveloping. It did not press. It did not pull. It simply was, like everything else here. The old man did not speak aloud, yet his presence whispered patience, calm, and gentle observation. And the listener, hearing and feeling, could begin to find the same rhythm, a slow, unhurried pulse carrying them naturally toward rest. In this stillness, there was no need for motion, no need for urgency, only quiet, wide, patient, and complete. And that was enough. Shadows moved ever so slightly across the room, though they seemed more like whispers than motion. The old man noticed them, though he did not need to. They were part of the room's quiet rhythm, gentle companions that made the space feel alive without drawing attention. His chair cradled him perfectly, the curves of the wood aligned with the shape of his body. Years of stillness had taught him to settle here, in calm, in ease, without expectation. His hands rested loosely on his lap, fingers soft, warm, entirely unhurried. A lamp glowed steadily beside him, casting a warm light that filled the room in gentle layers. Corners softened. Walls faded into muted tones. Every surface, every shadow existed without demand. Breathing continued steadily. In, out. A slow, unremarkable rhythm that needed no counting. The body carried its own measure, one perfectly suited to the quiet present. Thoughts drifted past as if carried by an invisible breeze. They appeared, lingered briefly, and then dissolved into the calm. No memory pressed. No worry intruded. They simply passed, leaving the old man untouched, fully at ease. Outside, the world had settled into its own quiet pace. Branches leaned gently, leaves rested motionless, and even distant sounds softened into something almost imperceptible. The night was patient, unhurried, embracing everything without pressing. The old man's eyes remained half closed. He neither searched for meaning nor resisted the calm. He simply existed, anchored by the room's stillness. The chair held him. The lamp's glow held him. The walls and floor, the very air itself, supported him without effort. Every detail was heightened, yet soft. The warmth of his palms, the gentle pressure of the chair beneath him, the soft, even light across his vision. Each sensation added to a profound sense of ease and security. Time, as it usually measured itself, had no place here. Minutes blended into hours. Hours melted into moments. There was only now, wide, patient, and complete. The old man did not speak aloud, yet his presence alone carried calm, patience, and gentle reassurance. The listener, immersed in the sound of his slow breath, could feel their own mind soften, their own pulse slow, their own thoughts relax in parallel with his. No movement was required, no urgency pressed, only the quiet, unbroken, embracing stillness, and that was enough. The night had grown heavier, yet softer. It was not oppressive, not loud or demanding, but a calm that settled deep, a presence that wrapped everything gently in its fold. The old man remained in his chair, motionless yet entirely present. His hands rested naturally in his lap, fingers curved slightly, warm and relaxed. There was no need to move, no thought pressing to adjust. The body understood quiet. It had learned to surrender, to rest fully without effort. The lamp's glow continued to spill across the room, painting every surface with muted, soft light. Shadows stretched gently along the walls, edges blurred, corners softened. Everything felt spacious, unhurried, and complete. Breathing was slow, steady, and natural. In, out. A rhythm that needed no counting, no attention. Each rise and fall of the chest blended seamlessly into the calm of the room. Moments stretched like soft fabric, flowing, holding everything in gentle suspension. Thoughts came and went without urgency. They floated past, lingering briefly, then melted quietly into nothingness. No need to cling. No need to resist. They moved, and the old man remained anchored, unbothered, still. Outside, the night whispered softly. The wind through distant trees moved gently. Leaves leaned without sound. The faintest hints of motion seemed absorbed into the calm, leaving the air undisturbed. Everything existed in balance and quiet harmony. The old man's eyes were half closed, neither fully awake nor asleep, perfectly balanced in awareness. He neither sought meaning nor avoided the calm. He simply existed, fully supported by the room, the light, the air, the very floor beneath him. Everything was held, nothing floated, nothing demanded. Every detail was noticed yet softened. The warmth of his hands resting lightly, the gentle pressure of the chair beneath him, the soft glow of the lamp across his vision. Each element contributed to a profound ease, a patient, complete stillness. Time had no edges here. Minutes folded into each other seamlessly. Hours lost definition. The now was wide, patient, complete, and sufficient. It required nothing, it asked nothing. The old man did not speak. Yet his presence carried a quiet assurance, a patient guide to calm. The listener, hearing the slow, steady rhythm of his breath, felt themselves drawn into the same gentle tranquility. Their own pulse slowed. Thoughts softened. Mind and body aligned with the room's patient stillness. No motion was required. No urgency pressed. Only the quiet, full, patient embrace of night, holding everything gently, fully, without demand. And that was enough. The night had settled deeper now, though no sound claimed dominance. Everything breathed together in quiet harmony, as if the world itself had taken a long, patient pause. The old man remained in his chair, still yet fully present, enveloped by the patient calm of the evening. His hands rested gently on his lap, fingers curled softly, warm against the fabric of his sleeves. No movement was needed. The body understood stillness better than thought could guide it. The lamp continued to glow with subtle insistence. Its light spilled across the room, illuminating edges and surfaces in gentle, forgiving tones. Shadows leaned along the walls, soft and unhurried, creating a companionable presence that demanded nothing. The air itself seemed deliberate, patient, resting quietly around everything it touched. Breathing continued in and out, a steady rhythm that required no attention. The chest rose and fell gently, a slow tide that marked no hour, no moment. Each breath was absorbed fully into the calm, carrying nothing, yet holding everything. The moments expanded without pressure, flowing seamlessly, comfortably, without edges or urgency. Thoughts drifted in and out of awareness like quiet clouds. They did not demand attention. They did not insist on being followed. They simply passed, soft and unhurried, leaving the mind unburdened and free. The old man neither grasped nor dismissed them. They existed, then faded, like shadows of something once significant but now irrelevant. Outside, the night remained patient. The wind moved softly among the distant trees, brushing leaves with gentle discretion. Even the faintest sound, perhaps a distant bird, perhaps the whisper of air, was carried delicately, softened by distance and darkness. Everything existed in quiet balance, resting easily in the calm of the world. The old man's eyes were half closed. He neither sought to see nor needed to. Awareness had no rush, no urgency, no destination. He existed fully within the gentle rhythm of the space, held by the chair, the lamp, the floor, and the patient night around him. Every detail was noted without insistence, the warmth of his hands resting loosely, the soft support of the chair beneath him, the faint glow of light tracing gentle lines across the room. Each element contributed to a pervasive stillness, a patient, full, encompassing calm. Time no longer counted. Minutes and hours had no definition. The present stretched wide, patient, complete, and sufficient. No past intruded, no future demanded. Only this moment, vast, gentle, unhurried, holding everything lightly, fully, completely. The old man did not speak aloud. Yet his presence communicated the same steady rhythm, drawing anyone nearby into the same patient calm. Listeners felt their own minds slow, thoughts soften, muscles relax. The room, the chair, the light, the air, everything held them gently, fully, without demand. No movement was required. No urgency pressed. Only the quiet, patient embrace of night. The room had become a sanctuary of quiet. Every object, every shadow, every curve of floor and wall seemed to breathe softly alongside the old man. He remained in his chair, perfectly still, yet completely present, fully aligned with the gentle rhythm of the night. His hands rested loosely on his lap, fingers curled slightly, palms warm and unburdened. There was no urge to move, no thought demanding action. The body understood the grace of stillness, the quiet of existence without effort. The lamp's glow remained soft and forgiving. It washed over surfaces with gentle patience, illuminating shadows that leaned as if in conversation, silent yet intimate. The air was steady, deliberate, holding space carefully, as if aware of the calm it carried. Breathing continued without need or attention. In, out. A rhythm as ancient as the night itself, gentle, steady, unmarked by time. Each rise and fall of the chest blended with the calm of the room, expanding the quiet further, holding the space in patient embrace. Thoughts drifted lightly, like leaves floating on still water. They came and went without insistence, without weight, passing gently past awareness. The old man neither grasped them nor resisted. They existed, then quietly faded. The mind relaxed, untangled, and free from the demands of significance or urgency. Outside, night continued its patient vigil. Wind brushed leaves delicately, carrying nothing but the faintest hints of motion. Branches leaned slightly, shadows stretched softly. Even distant sounds felt subdued, absorbed into the quiet that filled every corner of the room. The world was calm, patient, gentle, unhurried. The old man's eyes remained half-closed, balanced between awareness and repose. He did not need to see, for everything existed in the flow of calm around him. The chair, the floor, the lamp, the quiet night, each element supporting him fully, completely, effortlessly. Every sensation was present but softened, the warmth of his hands resting lightly, the subtle pressure of his body against the chair, the faint glow tracing gentle lines across the room. Each detail became part of a larger, encompassing calm. Time had no edges here. Minutes and hours blended into one another seamlessly. The present stretched vast, patient, complete, and sufficient. No past demanded review. No future pressed forward. Only this moment existed, wide, unhurried, and fully enough. The old man did not speak. Yet his presence carried a patient rhythm, drawing anyone near into the same calm, the same quiet, the same gentle embrace. Listeners felt their own thoughts soften, muscles relax, awareness settle. The room, the chair, the lamp, the air, everything held them softly, completely, without demand. No movement was required. No urgency pressed. Only the night, patient and encompassing, holding everything in quiet, deep stillness. And that was enough. The room had grown stiller, though it had never truly been noisy. Now every breath, every shadow, every tiny detail felt heightened, magnified by calm. The old man remained in his chair, motionless yet fully present, fully in tune with the subtle rhythm of the night. His hands lay softly in his lap, fingers relaxed, palms warm. No tension existed anywhere in his body. Even the smallest urge to adjust or move had faded into quiet acceptance. The body knew the peace of simply being, without effort, without thought. The lamp cast a gentle, unwavering glow. Its light formed soft arcs on walls and floor, embracing every shadow with care. The shadows themselves seemed to breathe slowly, leaning toward the light yet never intruding. Even the air was deliberate, patient, as though it too understood the grace of quiet. Breathing continued naturally, steadily, without attention. In, out. The chest rose and fell like the gentle swell of tide against a calm shore. Each breath merged with the surrounding stillness, expanding the quiet into every corner of the room. Moments no longer pressed against one another. They simply rested side by side in patient order. Thoughts drifted lightly like feathers on still water. They came, lingered softly, then faded without demand. The old man neither grasped nor dismissed them. They were gentle companions, passing, never disturbing the calm. The mind settled further, untangled, free from the weight of unnecessary concern. Outside, night moved with a slow deliberation. Wind whispered only occasionally, brushing distant leaves with soft patience. Branches remained still, the occasional rustle absorbed by distance and darkness. Even faint sounds felt softened, as if the world itself had decided to pause. The old man's eyes remained half-closed. He did not need to see, for awareness existed in every sensation around him. The chair, the lamp, the floor, the night itself, each held him effortlessly. He was supported entirely, without effort, without concern. Every sensation became meaningful yet gentle. The warmth of his hands resting softly, the slight pressure of his body on the chair, the delicate glow of the lamp tracing subtle lines across surfaces. Each detail contributed to the patient, encompassing calm. Time no longer existed in measured units. Minutes and hours folded into one seamless present. There was no past to review, no future to reach. Only this moment stretched wide, deep, patient, and sufficient. The old man spoke no words, yet his presence communicated calm, drawing anyone nearby into the same rhythm of quiet. Listeners' thoughts softened, muscles released tension, minds settled into a patient, steady flow. The room, the lamp, the chair, the air, all held them completely, gently, without effort. No movement was necessary. No urgency pressed. Only the patient, encompassing night, holding everything, everyone, in quiet, deep, abiding stillness. And that was enough. The night's calm seemed to grow heavier, though no weight pressed upon anything. Everything moved gently in its own unhurried rhythm. The old man remained in his chair, still and present, entirely aligned with the quiet of the space around him. His hands rested loosely on his lap. Fingers relaxed, palms warm, unburdened. Every part of his body understood the peace of stillness. No adjustment was needed. Even the smallest movement felt unnecessary, irrelevant. The lamp's glow remained soft and patient. It illuminated the room without demand, spreading gentle arcs of light across walls, floor, and surfaces. Shadows leaned slightly, soft and unthreatening, forming quiet companions for the old man. The air itself seemed deliberate, steady, holding the space fully, tenderly. Breathing continued naturally, a steady rhythm that required no counting. In, out. Each rise and fall of the chest blended with the calm of the room, merging into a seamless rhythm that stretched without end. Time seemed to stretch along with each breath, unmeasured yet complete. Thoughts drifted in the corners of awareness like clouds in a pale sky. They did not demand attention. They did not insist on importance. The old man neither chased them nor resisted them. They existed, then dissolved, leaving the mind lighter, free, unhurried. Outside, the night remained patient. Wind brushed distant branches softly, leaves rustling with faint, deliberate care. Even the occasional distant sound felt absorbed into the quiet, softened and slow. The world held itself in patient suspension, mirroring the calm within the room. The old man's eyes were half closed, balanced between awareness and repose. He did not need to see. The calm around him provided all the understanding required. The chair, the floor, the lamp, the night itself, everything supported him fully, effortlessly. The body and mind existed in quiet harmony, aligned with the gentle rhythm of the evening. Every sensation was noticed yet softened, the warmth of his hands resting lightly, the gentle pressure of his body against the chair, the faint glow tracing lines across surfaces, subtle, patient, unhurried. Each detail was embraced fully, without effort, forming a seamless calm. Time no longer counted. Minutes and hours blurred, folding into a continuous present. No past demanded review, no future pressed forward. Only this moment existed, wide, deep, patient, and sufficient. The old man did not speak aloud. Yet his presence communicated calm effortlessly. Anyone nearby could feel their own thoughts slow, muscles release tension, mind settle. The room, the lamp, the chair, the air, all held them gently, fully without demand. No movement was necessary. No urgency pressed. Only the patient, encompassing night, holding everything in quiet, deep, unbroken stillness. And that was enough. The room had settled into complete stillness. Every surface, every shadow, every breath belonged entirely to the quiet. The old man remained in his chair, perfectly still, his body aligned with the gentle rhythm of the night. He neither moved nor needed to. He existed completely in the space around him. His hands rested loosely on his lap. Fingers curled softly, palms warm. Every muscle in his body had surrendered to the stillness, releasing the need to act, to adjust, to respond. The body had found the grace of patience, the calm of simply being. The lamp's glow remained soft, tender, forgiving. It traced gentle arcs on walls and floors, highlighting the quiet without effort, without urgency. Shadows leaned ever so slightly, comforting in their stillness. Even the air felt deliberate, carrying a calm that wrapped every corner of the room. Breathing continued without attention, in, out. The rhythm flowed naturally, like the slow, eternal tide of a silent ocean. Each breath merged with the encompassing quiet, spreading calm into every corner of the listener's mind. Time had lost its edges, minutes dissolving into a seamless present. Thoughts floated gently, like clouds drifting across a serene sky. They appeared softly, lingered for a moment, then dissolved without effort. The old man neither followed nor resisted them. The mind rested freely, untangled, free of concern or urgency. Outside, night held its patient vigil. Wind brushed softly against distant leaves, the faintest rustle barely disturbing the stillness. Branches leaned gently, shadows stretched slowly, all absorbed into the calm of the night. Every sound, every movement, every flicker of light was softened, carried away into patient silence. The old man's eyes remained half-closed, balanced between awareness and repose. He did not need to see, for presence was enough. The chair, the lamp, the floor, the room itself, all supported him completely. The body and mind existed in perfect harmony, aligned with the night's gentle rhythm. Every sensation felt full yet softened. The warmth of his hands, the slight pressure of his body on the chair, the soft glow of the lamp tracing gentle lines. Each detail embraced without effort, contributing to the vast, patient calm. Time no longer mattered. Past and future had vanished. Only this wide, deep, patient present existed, complete and sufficient. The old man did not speak aloud. Yet his presence communicated quiet, drawing anyone near into the same rhythm of deep calm. Listeners felt tension release, thoughts slow, and awareness settle into gentle stillness. The room, the lamp, the chair, the air, all held them fully, without demand, without effort. No movement was needed. No urgency pressed. Only the patient, encompassing night, holding everything in soft, deep, unbroken stillness. And as the last breath settled, a soft invitation lingered in the quiet. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. Thank you for listening.